In 1587, a group of over 100 English settlers, men, women, and children, landed on the shores of Roanoke Island, a remote piece of land off the coast of present-day North Carolina. Their leader, John White, had high hopes for this new settlement, believing it would be England's first permanent colony in the New World. Among the settlers were his daughter, Eleanor, and his newborn granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. The future seemed promising, but little did they know this colony would soon become one of the greatest mysteries in American history. As summer turned to autumn, supplies dwindled, and relations with local Native American tribes grew tense. Desperate to secure more resources and ensure the colony's survival, John White made the difficult decision to sail back to England for reinforcements, leaving behind his family and the other settlers. He promised to return quickly, but fate had other plans. When White arrived in England, he found his country embroiled in a war with Spain. The Spanish Armada was preparing to invade, and all available ships were commandeered for the defense of the realm. White's attempts to return to Roanoke were delayed by months, then years, as the war dragged on. During this time, his thoughts were haunted by the fate of his family and the settlers he had left behind. What were they enduring? How were they surviving? Little did he know, the answers to these questions would remain elusive forever. Finally, in 1590, after 3 long years, White managed to secure a small expedition and set sail for Roanoke. As the ship approached the island, White's heart was filled with both hope and dread. But when they arrived, a chilling scene awaited them. The settlement was deserted. The fortifications, once bustling with activity, were now eerily silent. The houses were dismantled, their timbers strewn about as if the inhabitants had left in haste. There were no signs of a struggle, no bodies, no graves, just an overwhelming, unsettling emptiness. The only clue to their fate was a single word carved into the trunk of a tree: Croatoan. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island, inhabited by a friendly Native American tribe. White believed that the settlers might have relocated there. As White and his men prepared to sail to Croatoan Island to search for the lost colonists, a powerful storm suddenly swept in, forcing them to abandon their plans. The tempest battered their ship, threatening to destroy it entirely. With dwindling supplies and the crew growing increasingly restless and desperate, White was compelled to return to England, leaving the mystery of the colonists' fate unresolved. Despite multiple attempts over the years to uncover the truth, no definitive evidence has ever been found to confirm what became of the Roanoke settlers. The carved word, Croatoan, remains the only clue, a tantalizing hint that raises more questions than it answers. To this day, the fate of the Roanoke colony remains one of history's most enduring enigmas. Speculation has run rampant for centuries. Some believe the settlers were absorbed into local Native American tribes, adopting their ways and leaving behind their English identity. This theory is supported by later reports of European features and customs among certain tribes in the region. But without concrete evidence, it remains just that, a theory. Others have suggested that the settlers met a more sinister fate. Could they have been wiped out by a rival tribe, their bones scattered, and their story lost to the wilderness? Or perhaps they succumbed to the harsh conditions of the New World, starvation, disease, or exposure, and were forced to abandon their settlement in search of more hospitable lands. But why would they leave no trace, no message for anyone who might come looking for them? And why would they dismantle their homes as if they were planning to use the materials elsewhere? And then, there are the more fantastical theories, whispers of supernatural forces, curses, or even alien abductions. These ideas are dismissed by serious historians, but they persist in popular imagination, fueled by the colony's complete and utter disappearance. The carving of Croatoan itself has taken on an almost mythical quality, a word that seems to hold the key to a mystery that refuses to be solved. Archaeologists have scoured the region for evidence, digging through the sands of time in search of answers. In recent years, a few tantalizing clues have emerged. European artifacts found on Hatteras Island, once known as Croatoan, and signs of English-style pottery at a nearby site. These discoveries suggest that at least some of the settlers might have made it to Croatoan, but they still don't explain the full story. Why did they leave? What happened afterward? And where did they all go? Even as we advance into the 21st century, the fair standing of history, forcing us to confront the possibility that some chapters may never be fully written, that some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved. As we stand on the shores of Roanoke Island today, we are left to wonder what truly happened to those men, women, and children who vanished so completely. Were they victims of misfortune, violence, or something even more unimaginable? The island holds its secrets close, its sands whispering of a past that refuses to be uncovered. The lost colony may be gone, but its mystery endures, echoing through the centuries, inviting each new generation to try and solve the riddle. But perhaps the true legacy of Roanoke is not in finding the answers, but in the enduring mystery itself, a mystery that, like the word Croatoan, continues to haunt the American imagination.